Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the SPY, the IWM, the Qs, the DIA, the IYT, the USO, the UUP, and the GLD. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. So let's go right to the 10-minute SPY. We're going to start with that. A little bit of some good action today, actually. Some pullbacks, a little bit of retrace, double bottom, boom, right back up. Right back above this line, the 243.20 area. That's very important to these markets, guys. Just like on Friday, where they get it right above that area. Did it again. So that tells me this 243 area is a key number. Daily chart, same thing though. Consolidation. Now we have 6 days sideways coming into the 20 MA, going into that trend line too. Still holding the trend line, guys. Look, we got above it, came in, got above it, consolidated, dropped, popped above. So this is another area of something you got to watch for support. So good bullish pattern though above the MAs. This thing's setting up for higher prices. Higher prices, 248, 252, 250 area, right up in here. See how it reacts in this trend line. Remember, that was a big one where it popped above here, came right back in, almost retested it, came down, held, came in, held. This is another big area down here, guys. If this pattern fails, you can watch the 20, the 50, and then this little pivot here, right around 235.40. Gap fill, double bottom. So then you have the 200 MA down here. But, you know, first things first, we got to see where this pattern goes. Still above the MAs, still nothing wrong. 86 million on the day, not terrible, but you got to keep an eye on the volume. IWM, same thing, guys. 23 cents down, 12 cents up after hours. Pretty much a non-event. Some intraday action, a little bit of sell-in, a little bit of pump up, you know, a little bit of a gap down. Comes in, actually we gapped up and then fell, kind of faded for the first 40 minutes, popped up, faded, came back around, popped up at the end. Almost closed above this pivot, but right on top. So IWM, nothing wrong. Always nothing wrong, guys. Above the MAs, just treading, but we did come in, got rejected, came right back beneath the all-time high. So we'll keep an eye on this pattern. Kind of like the SPY. Does this go continue sideways? Ready for the next leg up? If so, what is that? 143.21, 144, 145. If the markets get going, you're going to have to go at 150. So let's wait for pattern on this one. See if we go continue sideways, or do we start to break down? We come right back into this area of support. So that's what we're looking for too. If we start coming in, then we'll start looking at this, the 50 and the 20. Little bit of area right here. Then we have double bottoms down in this area around 134.40. Then ultimately the 200 MA at 132.39 with double bottom now. Good support, guys. This comes straight down. Maybe a short-term bounce, but if we do get that, then we'll look for a retrace, re-short to that one. If it comes into here and cracks through, then just let it go lower. I would think maybe 124, 125. Again, on the upside, if this breaks, 145 to possibly 150. So watch for the pattern. Right now, really not telling us too much. 23 cents down on a day, not a big deal. Volume 34 million, a little bit less than yesterday. Got to keep an eye on that too. The Qs, on the other hand, 75 cents down, the weak course of the 4 indexes that I watch. But it held though. You know, daily chart, it held. Kept above this low pivot from Friday. We did fill the gap down in here today as well. So that's where we got a bounce. So we feel, I think there was another, nope, we didn't fill the other gap down a little bit more. And now we have the 136.83 area or the 50 MA. If my guess, if we're going down, they're going to gap this thing over the 50 MA, maybe even gap it below this guy here, down on this one too. So, but let's see what pattern this starts to develop. If it starts going sideways, chop, above the 50 MA, that's telling me it's setting up for possible lower prices. If that pattern fails, you might get one last pop into the highs and then the next drop. So right now, nothing to do. Let's wait for pattern or retrace, or possibly this thing just starts to come in. So watch for this area here. Right around 135.93, you got the big gap fill. Then ultimately you have a gap fill down here around 130.42. And there's some other areas too, but you know, until we start going down, you got a gap window with a gap fill right here too. So until we start coming in, if we do, you know, this is some areas to watch. Going up, got to get back above the all-time high, especially this big red bar too. We had pretty good volume today, guys. It was holding strong. I'm surprised we didn't fill the gap or get to the 50 MA. So that tells me a little more chopping around for the next wave down. If not, we need to get back above the 20, the all-time high, and start making a run for the 145 to 150 area on the Qs. But overall, guys, not that bad today. The DIA and the volume overall for a Monday, it's probably about a little, I wouldn't say double, but I think we were doing about 50 million on Mondays on the SPY. We ended up doing 86, so a little bit more, so it wasn't too bad. So, all right, the DIA though, guys, same thing. We got back above, we're right on this trend line. If we stretch it, it's not that big, you can still have it in here, but that's what it's kind of holding on to. It's pretty much right on top. So that's what we're watching. It seems to be holding that above the MAs. Same thing as the other ones, guys. We have a little bit of a Fibonacci going from here. We can actually lift it up and go a little bit higher now since we went a little bit higher. So let's go to the retrace. Give me a second, guys. All right, so yeah, so there's the 250 retrace. Trying to get above that line, guys. If this thing continues to move up, we're going to grind to 215, 220, 225, and then wherever this trend line is up here. It could be at 230 or what have you. Let's keep an eye on that. Again, nothing wrong. Bullish position above the MAs. You guys know the drills if you watch my videos. So still above the 20, all that good stuff. Still chopping around. Keep an eye on the DIA, which is the Dow. Let's go into the IYT. This is the transports. Trying to make a run for this upper trend line, guys. Look at this stuff. They're trying. They got to get this one leading, guys. Great bullish pattern above the MAs. A little bit stretched. I would expect a little pullback before we go up, but if we go up, then getting to this top will be a little bit harder to get through, but we'll keep an eye if it continues. 175 to 180 area. That's if this one gets through the all-time high, which is 173.89. And then we'll see where it goes, guys. It's holding this trend line as well. We're getting above these tops, just chopping around like we talked about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 days. So let's see if this thing can get serious and gap up. It's the only way they're going to get through, guys. They're going to have to gap it up, get a good gap up day, try to get this thing going to get it to the all-time high and possibly lead the market. It's kind of like the IWM, so watch out for that. USO, guys. So the USO has a nice gap up, try to get the oil up, because if the oil goes up, people will probably buy Exxon and a couple other of the big players, and that will help the markets float. So gap it up, hits it to the 200 MA, nice little fade job the rest of the day. Not that big of a trade. I mean, you have to take a bunch of shares to get this thing short, or you trade a different vehicle. But nice pullback, almost back to gap fill, a couple pennies above, and or 3 cents above. And on, what is that, 25 million on the day. So the volume wasn't bad, guys. There was some selling as on the pop. Let's go back to the daily. I'm talking about this daily, so talking about a possible retrace. You did come into a good area. Short-term bounce. We did go right back into this trend line now. Look at that. Got rejected. So let's keep an eye on this. You still have the retrace coming from, here, let's put this one in. Right there. We got the retrace here, 250. We got the 382, 50, 618, and then the 750 up in here with the 50 MA. And then, of course, you got the 200 MA up here. So USO could go up here and then make the next leg down, but you still have the big trend line. If it gets up here into this area, I'll definitely take a short on this, but I think this is going to be a short-lived bounce. Get back up into maybe this inside bar here. If it does go up, you do have the gap right up in here where it might fill, or the $10 even number with the 20 MA. So you got to watch out for that. So let's see how much we retrace to this inside bar, or do we, was that it? And we come right back in. So let's keep an eye on the USO, guys. Nothing wrong. A little bit weak. Let's keep an eye and see if this thing can continue going. Remember, we'd like to see some follow through on these. Instead, we got a gap up and a crap out, and we close at the lows of the day and below the pivot of the following day, or of the day before. I mean, sorry. All right, let's go into the UUP. UUP down 4 cents. Again, just grinding away, just like this pattern, down, sideways, setting up to go lower. We talked about popping up, came right back in, closed above. Now we're back below the 20 MA. So let's see if this continues lower now, guys. Great bearish pattern below all the MAs. That should trigger for some more downside, but we'll have to see what the central bankers think. They could possibly think different than me and the charts. So you still have a gap fill down here and the big pivot down here around 24 bucks. That's where I like this thing, 23.80 to 24. If we get a little bit lower, even better. that would be a good area to start to add. So we're going to wait patiently. People ask me, why aren't you short this thing? It has a pretty good trend. I guess you could short it if it pops above this, then you got to get out. So, you can play it that way. But I'm just waiting for the downside move, and then we'll buy long on the dollar. So if I miss it, great. If not, then I'll just go find another trade. So it's not a big deal, guys. But the UUP, setting up for lower prices. Let's see what happens in the next couple days with Janet Yellen and all that good stuff. That's the wild card, guys. Grandma Yellen up at Wednesday. So I think it's Wednesday. With the Fed meeting and all that. Does she raise rates? Does she whatever? Is it all going to be lip service waiting on data? We'll find out, guys. All right, the GLD. GLD, though, pulled back a couple days in a row. Man, that would have been a great opportunity. Didn't take it, though. Great 1, 2, 3, almost a 4-day pullback. Definitely a 3-day pullback. Hits the top here. Boom, right back down. We're holding the MA, so we're still in good shape. We're still above... we're back below this trend line. I'm just going to say we're still above. I was looking at this. But we're back below it, and we're back. Right now, we just got to see what's going on. We did fill the gap down here. We did get below it, so it looks a little bit weak to me, like we could pull back a little bit more, maybe to this gap fill. But let's see what tomorrow and the rest of the week brings. Again, Yellen's on deck, so it really, looking at this one, it probably doesn't matter because it's going to go up or down. I don't think it's going to stay one way, but again, Wednesday, watch gold and all these commodities because they could be going up and down. So, all right, Jnug. Jnug, not a bad day today. 99 cents compared to the GLD. Let's go back to that real quick. Yeah, guys, we're a little bit down on a day. Nothing big, but that I didn't mention. So, but the Jnug, guys, so 99 cents up. So we had a nice little pullback, maybe some profit taking, came right back in. Maybe some people jumping back in possibly to get this one up. But remember, guys, this one came back right by the 20 MA, and now it's above it. Well, if we go to the GDXJ, that's the one that always stayed above the 20 MA. Once it popped up, it got above, boom, right back. And look at this, guys. We're right back above the 50 MA. So let's see if this one can continue up. Got to get above here and get above there to continue this thing ripping. So big area up here for resistance is the 200 MA and this trend line, guys. If it starts getting towards there, take some profits. Let it pull back a couple bucks and buy back again. That's what's going to happen. If you bought here around 32 and this thing gets to 37, 38, you're going to take a little bit of a profit. If you got lucky enough to buy it around 31, even better. So just beware, though. Gets to this high pivot and look out. And of course, you have the breakdown bar in this, then the high pivots up in here. So if it gets up in there, then you definitely got to watch out for this. But right now, guys, setting up real nice over the 50 MA, bullish pattern above the 20 now as well. And let's see if we get back to this 200. But again, we're just going sideways, bullish manner, but overall bearish still. Still holding this trend line here. That's a big area. If we do crack below that and come in, we could possibly retest these lows here. And then for me, though, I'd love to see it down in here. 27.52 for the long. But right now, if it goes up, it's going up without me, guys. So, all right, that's it for the GDXJ. And it's been a long day, guys, for a Monday, that is. So the markets were a little bit quiet today. Nothing great. Some things pulled back. But overall, a pretty quiet market. Let's see what happens going into the rest of Options X week. And let's see what Janet Yellen brings on. I believe it's Wednesday or whatever. The lip service is coming out. And watch for some more upgrades or downgrades. Those have been pretty funny lately. So, all right, guys, if you like these videos, go to StockBookie.com. Sign up for the free membership. You'll get email alerts when we post these things, when we post other technical analysis videos, the live streaming sessions, trade ideas, and whatever else we bring up, guys. We're just doing this. We're having some fun, trying to make some money, and see what the next great trade is out there. All right, guys. Again, if you like the videos, go to StockBookie.com, sign up. I really appreciate it. And like always, thanks again for watching my videos. God bless. See you on the charts.